Hello everyone, welcome back to Dakota's Political Circle. And today I am making a West Virginia political video. So if you don't want to see this video, then just click off right now. It's basically about the West Virginia gubernatorial, the Senate, and the House races for the Republican side in the primary. So if you do not want to watch this video, then you can click off. I just want to make this video because I really want to make videos about my state as well if anything important comes up. So I just want to give my opinion on who I support and how I feel about other candidates in the races. Now for the House race specifically, that one, I don't know too many people in that race. I do know the main competitor, but the other ones I don't know too well, but every other race I know pretty well. So let's get into it right now, guys. And I also have polling as well, so I'll bring up the polling as well just to show it. So for the governor race, let's start with that. So for the governor race, obviously Justice is not running for governor anymore because he's ineligible. And the ones that have declared are Moore Capito, Chris Miller, Patrick Morrisey, and Mac Warner. Obviously polling's down there, but I also have polling up here. So basically, based on endorsements, Shelley Moore Capito endorsed Moore Capito because it's obviously her son. Statewide was Jim Justice also endorsed Moore Capito. I'll obviously tell you how I feel about that. Bob Huggins endorsed Chris Miller, and David Balsey, which I'm not sure who that is, endorsed Patrick Morrisey. So Trump hasn't endorsed anyone yet. Obviously, everyone knows Bob Huggins. And if you guys want to see what they look like right here, Moore Capito does not show up. Chris Miller, okay, I guess they don't show up. But based on polling, right here, it shows that Patrick Morrisey has a sizable lead. The recent poll shows Moore Capito, but it could be an outlier. Remember, these are West Virginia polls, so obviously it's going to be mixed situations. Obviously, remember, there is 18% undecided in the recent poll, so you never know where they're going to swing. But no matter what, whoever wins the Republican primary for governor is going to win the election. It does not matter. So whoever wins the Republican side will win, no matter what. So this is a crucial race for Republicans. Also, let me show the ones over here as well. It shows basically the same ones. Morrisey basically in the lead with these ones, and Capito right here in this one by 8 points. But remember, there could be outliers. You never know with these races. Now, to give my opinion on each candidate, let's start with Moore Capito. I like Moore. My opinion on Moore Capito is he is probably my least liked out of all of them, including Mac Warner, mainly because Moore Capito seems like a very big politician. He doesn't seem like, I guess he's like the man of the people is what I'm saying. In my opinion, if you're a West Virginia, I think if you do, the one person you should not choose out of every single one is Moore Capito. I think he's more of a person that's not going to get anything done. Like, think of Shelley Moore Capito, for example. She used to obviously get stuff done a lot of the time, but now she's kind of like, I don't know, mixed with her picks on stuff. She isn't really like a full-on conservative, I guess, like Trump is. But Moore Capito is kind of the same way, except I feel like he is worse. Honestly, I don't think he is really a man of the people in West Virginia. He really doesn't cater to West Virginians, in my opinion. And I think he says he supports Trump just because he has to. He doesn't say he supports Trump because he wants to. I think it's because he has to say it, or he loses his race, I guess you could say. That's how I feel about Moore Capito. I honestly just don't think he'd get anything done. I think he's probably the worst choice on this list. And if the recent polls do show him leading, I think that's a bad thing. Honestly, I'll obviously get to Patrick Morrisey in a second, but the next one I want to talk about, so I'm not going to talk about Mitch Roberts and Kevin Christian because they're not really big in this race. I'm talking about the main ones. Okay, Chris Miller. So Chris Miller, in my opinion, is probably my favorite one out of them. He does have a tiny bit of controversy. I've seen stuff where he talked bad about Trump back in 2016, but other than that, obviously people have changed back then. Remember, not everyone was a Trump supporter in 2016. You can understand that. But since then, Chris Miller has been a huge conservative. He has been, honestly, I think he caters more to West Virginians than anyone else in this race. Chris Miller, in my opinion, is probably the best choice. Now, do I think he could win? I don't know. Based on polling, I just don't see him winning unless a lot of those votes go to him, a lot of the undecided votes. So I don't think he could win, but I think he's the best choice in my opinion. He has the best conservative values. He definitely really supports a lot of stuff in West Virginia. He supports teacher pay. He supports getting the roads done, obviously, and also the tax cut bill where what Justice couldn't get done. He fully supports it doing it day one. I believe More Capito wants to work with the legislator, but I don't think he'd actually get it done. I think Chris Miller's more of going to try to take the initiative, kind of how Justice did. Now, obviously, it could backfire, but as long as he's giving it a shot, I think that's a good thing for him. And he's also not a normal politician. He's an automobile dealer. I believe he's a boxer too, so he's a pretty cool choice. He's also, I believe, he's the son of Carol Miller, so that's also pretty awesome. Carol Miller's pretty interesting as well. But yeah, okay, next one. Patrick Morrisey. So Patrick Morrisey, to me, I think he is the second best choice. The reason being is he has been a great conservative all the way through his political career. He is obviously not from West Virginia. That's a big downgrade, but he has always been conservative through his career. He's always done everything right. He's even done stuff for WVU when it comes to sports and stuff. So I do think he is a great conservative, and I do think he's trustworthy. The only downgrade I would say for him, the only one, period, is also Chris Miller does support Trump. I just wanted to mention that. The only downgrade for Patrick Morrisey, I guess you could say, is when you did watch him debate Manchin, if you guys remember when he debated Manchin a long time ago, he is a very bad debater. I'm not going to lie. He kind of acts like, I don't want to be rude, but he kind of acts like a child, I guess, when he's debating. He's not very fluent. He seems more scared when he debates, especially when it's like a bigger individual like Manchin, I guess you could say. He just doesn't seem like a leader, I guess. Now, his policies, incredible. He's going to have amazing policies if he's governor. He's going to be great if he's governor. The only downgrade is just how he speaks. Just how he... The only reason that's a bad thing is because he's going to be leading a whole entire state. You got to convince those legislators in the Congress in the state, and I think that we need someone that is like a proven person that could easily just talk to them and get the deals done. He's more of a person that I just don't think they would listen to him, is what I'm saying. That's what I'm worried about, I guess. That's how I feel about him. I would say he's my second favorite choice. So if Patrick Morrisey did win, I would win the primary. I would vote for him. I'll obviously tell you which ones I would not vote for, but let me get to the last one. So Patrick Morrisey does support Trump, and he didn't get endorsed by Trump yet, I don't think, but if he does get endorsed, he is obviously going to win. But okay, the next one. So Mac Warner. Mac Warner is a little bit weird to me. He's probably my second least favorite choice. The reason being is he has good policy. He's a respectable guy. Mac Warner is a respectable guy, and he has good policy. But the one downgrade on Mac Warner is he does not like Trump or support Trump, and he hates when people supports Trump. He's even talked about on the debate stage, if you I guess, say you support Trump, Trump's an awesome guy, you have my vote because I'm a Trump supporter and stuff like that. He kind of laughs about it, I guess you could say. So I think he'd be a good governor, but at the same time, he wouldn't respect Trump. That's the only bad thing. I think Mac Warner is just a throwaway pick, mainly because it's not because of his character. He has great character. He would be a great governor, but it's just how he is to Donald Trump. I believe if he liked Trump and supported him more, a lot of people would be on Mac Warner's side. But in my opinion, I just don't think. I think he likes probably Trump's policies, but he doesn't like the man himself. I think that's how Mac Warner is. Not a great choice, and he would not be my top choice. He wouldn't be my last choice, but he's just not a great choice. So in my opinion, I think the best choice and who I'm going to be voting for is Chris Miller. And the reason being, I believe he's great on the debate stage. He definitely can talk to. I believe he can talk to the legislator when he does get to talk to the legislator. Oh, sorry, I called them Congress earlier. I'm just trying to find the terms. But yeah, I think he'd be a good one to talk to the legislator about stuff. I think he'd be a little bit more initiative, which is not a great thing when it comes to the legislator. But I think he'd be able to negotiate way better. I mean, he is a businessman. He is an automobile dealer and stuff like that. So I do think he'd be a great pick. His past is a little bit iffy, but at the same time, that was 2016. I don't have a problem with it because of how long it was ago. And he definitely is a man of the people. I completely agree with that. And also, he was with his mom was Carol Miller. So Carol Miller is also a good representative. and I think that's a good choice. My second choice would be Patrick Morrisey if Patrick Morrisey does win. I'm not going to vote for Patrick Morrisey, but I think Patrick Morrisey would also be a great governor, and he should be the second choice. My third choice, Capito. I don't want him whatsoever. But not Capito. Sorry, my next choice would be Mac Warner. Sorry about that. I would say Mac Warner. He doesn't have great values towards Trump, but he has a lot of other great values as well. So he would be a good governor in my opinion. Capito would be the worst choice imaginable. I don't think he'd get anything done. I think he'd be more of a figurehead, and he would say he supports Trump, and he really doesn't. I just really don't hope. I really hope we don't get him. If we do get him, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. Honestly, I don't think I'd vote for him. If he went into the general election, I would probably vote third party, mainly because I just don't trust More Capito at all. I really just don't trust him. But yeah, that's how I feel about the governor Republican primary races. Okay, let's go to the Senate ones now. So this will be a little bit easier because there's only two. So the candidates are I'm not going to talk about the Democrat ones. So the Republican ones are, I'm going to talk about the main ones. So the Brian Byrd, Zane Lawthorne, Dawn Byron, and Janet do not matter. It's mainly these two. So Jim Justice, which was our governor, he still is at the moment, and Alex Mooney, which is one of our congressmen. And now I would always go back and forth on this issue because they're both great. But so Jim Justice did get endorsed by Donald Trump and a bunch of senators. Also in Mitch McConnell, I do not like him, and Shelley Moore as well. Alex Mooney got endorsed by a bunch of senators, including Ted Cruz, Rand Paul, and some U.S. representatives. But yeah, so here's how I feel about them two. So okay, first let me go through the polling. As of right now, Jim Justice is destroying Alex Mooney in polling. I think Jim Justice is going to demolish him in polling. Alex Mooney is a great guy, but I think Jim Justice is going to destroy the man, and because of how like Jim Justice is, because of his character, that's why a lot of people like Jim Justice. Even if you look right here, you can see that Justice is going to whoop Mooney no matter what. Even if they get on the debate stage, I see Justice still winning no matter what because of his lead. I think Mooney should have never won in this race because Justice is a juggernaut when it comes to elections in West Virginia. It's kind of like a Manchin situation. If Justice faced Manchin, I think Justice could win by 20 points, maybe even 15, because of how much of a juggernaut he is and how liked he is. But my opinion on them, I would say that Jim Justice, in my opinion. So Jim Justice, I believe he's a very good governor. He was a good governor. He didn't get everything done, but remember, he would always, if you're from West Virginia, you know that Jim Justice would try to get the legislature to move on from stuff, but they wouldn't budge. So I do trust Jim Justice. Obviously, he was a Democrat in the past. That's the one big disadvantage of Jim Justice, but I think he's turned a corner in Trump's eye for the most part since he's been governor. And I think Jim Justice would be a great senator. Obviously, if he didn't turn out to be great, you could obviously pick someone else in the future. But I think as of right now, he's doing a great job as governor. I think he'd be a great senator. I think he has the character. He has the views. He has basically everything you need. He also is actually a supporter of Trump. He's actually Trump's friend, one of his personal friends. So I do think that is a big advantage when it comes to Jim Justice. So I think Jim Justice is a great pick. He has a lot of advantages. There's a few disadvantages right there, but he does have a lot of great advantages. And the other one, Alex Mooney, I like Alex Mooney a lot. Alex Mooney is an awesome. Alex Mooney is an awesome. He's an awesome representative. He's had so many great views in the past. There is nothing wrong with Alex Mooney. Like if Alex Mooney ran for governor, he might quite possibly be my top choice between him and Chris Miller. But because he's running for Senate, it is a very hard decision for me. He has a lot of great issues. Everything's great about Alex Mooney. There's just so many good things. His character, it's okay. It's not as great as Jim Justice's, but he does have a lot of great views. He would be great in Congress. But I think the only difference is it is mainly the character. It's mainly the character issue. I think Jim Justice has a way better character and will represent West Virginia way better than Alex Mooney. Alex Mooney is a great candidate, though. He is an amazing candidate. This is always going to be a hard decision for me, but I am going to pick Jim Justice. because of his character, and also I think Jim Justice has turned the corner, and he is a big Trump supporter. Alex Mooney, I believe, is also a big Trump supporter. I just think it's just between those two, Jim Justice is the better one because he was our governor. He did a great job as governor. He did a lot of great things. Alex Mooney did good stuff in Congress, but I just think Jim Justice, it deserves to have it right now. Obviously, if Alex Mooney can take Capito's spot, I would gladly like that. Absolutely. I would 100% vote for Alex Mooney over Shelley Moore. But because it's Jim Justice, I'm going to pick Jim Justice. So when I go vote, I'm going to be voting for Jim Justice. You guys can decide between the two. Obviously, I wouldn't hate you if you voted for Alex Mooney. Alex Mooney is a great candidate. He's a great person. But Jim Justice is also great at the same time. He has a lot of great character and everything. So honestly, it's a hard decision. But obviously, a lot of West Virginians will be voting for Jim Justice. Either way, I know Jim Justice will be the one winning because of who he is and how people feel about him in West Virginia. He could go win by a landslide because of how great he is as a person. That's why a lot of people will vote for him. Now, for me, it's a hard decision, but I am going to vote for Jim Justice. If Alex Mooney runs for governor someday, I'd absolutely vote for him. If he ran against Shelley Moore, I'd vote for him. He's just a great candidate. But for this race, I'm just going to have to go with Jim Justice, in my opinion. But yeah, that's how I feel about that race. I think that's what's going to happen. Jim Justice is obviously going to win. You just know it's going to happen because of all the polling. Everyone just loves Jim Justice. Okay, let's go to the last one. So this one is one I'm not really huge on because I know the candidates, but I'm not like a huge fan of any. Like, there's really only one that's like a big one to me. So technically, there's literally only one right here that is a big one, and it's mainly Riley Moore. If you know Riley Moore, he was our treasurer. He was our state treasurer. I've heard of his character before. He's a great guy. Also, I don't think there's any polling right here. No. Is there any polling down here? No, there's no polling here for this race. But what I'm expecting to happen is I believe Riley Moore will be the one winning. He's probably the only candidate on this list that really matters. The only other one, I guess, is Chris Walker. I kind of know Chris Walker in a way. He's a pretty good person and stuff like that. He was in the Air Force. Obviously, it shows right there. Chris Walker's a decent person. But you just got to say, it's going to be Riley Moore. Riley Moore is going to be the one that's winning. He has good character. I don't know his political views too well. I've looked on his page. He talks about being a conservative and stuff. It's just because it's a House race. He's not really well known too much, and until he's in office, I won't really know. But looking at his endorsements, obviously Riley Moore got endorsed by J.D. Vance, Kevin McCarthy, Alex Mooney. So that's some good choices. Alex Mooney is a big one as well. And that's a really big one that shows that Riley Moore is probably a good candidate. And obviously Nate Kane, whoever that is, got put by Michael Flynn. And obviously Michael Flynn's a little bit iffy right now, so I don't know if I like that pick. Yeah, basically it's just going to be Riley Moore. It's either going to be Riley Moore or either Nate Kane or Joseph Early, but it's going to be Riley Moore. In my opinion, it's going to be Riley Moore. Riley Moore is the only known one on that list, and I think it's going to be Riley Moore. Riley Moore, based on his pages and stuff, he's a good candidate. I think he's a good pick. There's not too much I can say because I only know him as treasurer. I've looked at his views and stuff, and he does look like a good conservative. But until he's in office, I won't know exactly how he is. But as long as he has an endorsement from Alex Mooney, I trust him. Absolutely. I absolutely trust that pick no matter what. So this race is a little bit more, not a great race, I guess, because you know who's going to win. And also you don't really know how he is, like, personally, because he's never been really in a big election other than the treasurer. But I think it's a good choice. I think Riley Moore is a good choice, and I do think he would be a good candidate, I believe. I think he'd be a good candidate, and I think he'd be a great pick. Obviously, there's the Carol Miller race. I never really want to talk about that because I don't know if it's this year or not. It could be, but that's not my district, so I don't know what I would say. I mean, I would support Carol Miller. Carol Miller is probably my favorite pick out of that. So I would say Carol Miller in that race. But mainly about Riley Moore, I think Riley Moore is a good pick, and that's how I feel about it. But yeah, that's basically how I feel about the races in West Virginia. I think governor should go to Chris Miller. I think Senate should go to Jim Justice. I think House should go to Riley Moore. And my second choice for governor is obviously Patrick Morrisey. So if you don't support Chris Miller, vote for Patrick Morrisey. Those are the two choices I think you should decide between in the governor race. I think the governor race is probably the biggest one out of them in West Virginia. So I would say vote for either Chris Miller or Patrick Morrisey. That's what I would say. If you're worried about if you're worried about Capito winning, you should probably vote Patrick Morrisey. My opinion, I'm voting for the candidate I like, so I'm voting for Chris Miller. But if you support someone else, then you should probably vote for Patrick Morrisey, is what I'm saying. Don't vote for Mac Warner. That's kind of a wasted vote. Capito is not a wasted vote, but I don't think he's a good choice. So I'd say Patrick Morrisey or Chris Miller, in my opinion. Senate already told you which one I thought, and House is obviously going to be Riley Moore. But yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this West Virginia video. I'm going to have these out probably, I don't know, anytime there's some good news, I guess. Maybe when West Virginia's election is up for like the results, I will make a video on that as well, just to talk about it. I'm very interested to see how the governor race goes. It's going to either go to Patrick Morrisey or Capito, and I'm really hoping it's Morrisey out of those two, but I am going to be voting Chris Miller because I really like the candidate. For Senate, it's obviously going to be Jim Justice because that's going to be awesome to see, and House, obviously Riley Moore. But other than those, I don't think there's anything else interesting other than my local races, but I don't want to talk about those because obviously this is YouTube. You shouldn't be just spouting out like what district you live in, like, and well, the specific county, I guess you could say. But there's like a couple of things I want to support there. Other than that, there's really not much to talk about, but obviously I will be talking about those things when it comes to West Virginia politics. If any bill comes up in West Virginia that's a really big bill, I will also post that as well. That, like, if the bill passes, I guess you could say. Unless, obviously, well, yeah, I would say probably passes. I wouldn't really bring up a bill that's like going through because sometimes they don't really pass. Like the carrying bill for K-12, that was supposed to pass, but there was a budget issue, so they can't really do it right now. So I really don't want to talk about it unless they actually pass it. So that's also stuff I want to talk about on this channel when it comes to West Virginia videos. But for now, these videos won't be coming out that often. These videos are just random things I just like talking about when it comes to West Virginia because I do have West Virginia subscribers, obviously, and a lot of them do want to know, like, who do I support in my state? Now, obviously, this is a big red state, so I'm never going to say, oh, I'm going to vote for this Democrat because unless I really know them personally, I don't think I would. So this is just a big red state, so it's just more of like, what can this state be good about, I guess you could say. There's obviously in my local, there is one person I want to vote for that is actually a teacher that's running. He is a Republican, by the way, but I don't want to bring up his name or anything like that. I just because I don't want to give away where I live. But either way, I just wanted to tell you guys that this video is just a video I wanted to post for West Virginia. But other than that, I'm not sure when my next video will be out. It'll probably be a U.S. politics video. It probably will not be a West Virginia video unless the West Virginia election comes up, which I believe is the 14th of May is election day for West Virginia. I can't remember exactly, but I believe it's May 14th. But I do know early voting is, I believe, May 1st or May 3rd. And I'm obviously going to be early voting. If you are in West Virginia, remember to early vote. Vote for the candidate you support. In my opinion, for governor, you need to vote for either Patrick Morrisey or Chris Miller. Obviously, Patrick Morrisey is the one you should probably be voting for if you want someone to win the race. But for me, I vote for the candidate. I don't really care if someone's going to win or not. But whatever you think is right. Anyway, I don't want to make this video too long. It's already almost at the 25-minute mark. But I just wanted to talk about this with you guys because I like talking about my state. I like talking about politics and everything like that. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, then put a like, comment, subscribe, whatever you want to do. But yeah, guys, whenever anything comes out in politics, I'll be sure to try to make a video on it, even though personal situations are a little bit hard right now, but I'll try my best. But anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.